Aloha, Mother Fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Of course, streaming across all the different platforms you can find us. Full episodes on YouTube and the audio version, of course, over on Spotify and the iHeartRadio app. Again, Kyle Cornell, that boy Anthony Alford with you as always. Sir, how you doing, man?
My hands hurt. I have to, so my work from home job, I type, do a lot of typing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of typing. You know, looking for some dark chocolate and stuff. And hand was hurting there, got a little cramp there. I'm good, though. I'm good.
You think dark chocolate is going to help your carpal tunnel that you're developing while working?
I'll talk to a football coach.
And if I rub dark chocolate on my hand,
listen,
suddenly I'll be able to move my fingies better.
Listen, I'll talk to a football coach. You know, big-time football coach, maybe who could take care of it.
Speaking of which, I mean, should we just get right into this? Cause
wow, we can. That's our rundown for the week. Got a lot to get into. We're debuting a new segment, by the way, today. But let's go right into it. Our sweet moment of the week, brought to you by BA Sweeties. We included this. It features someone who was in the Royal Rumble. She was number 30. They both wrestle. They used to wrestle for a living. And
Jesus, man.
I love that laugh.
I don't like how deep you got.
I love that laugh. Coach Prime's in there.
I mean, we could try to explain this scene to you, but I'd rather have you guys just watch the 30-some second clip of Deion Sanders turning into that really creepy uncle from the barbecue. Like, when he finds out that your hot friend is single. Yeah, just...
Let's roll the tape courtesy of Sirius XM.
What's your favorite color?
Well, lately I've been into dark chocolate, so that's been like my thing.
Mm.
You know. So.
You've been dark chocolate, huh?
You know,
You've been in dark chocolate.
It has
huh?
been the flavor of my
Good, doesn't it?
season. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
I understand. I understand.
You know, more to come.
Yes,
I thought you were going to
Lord.
say red,
No,
but
I like that dark
I mean,
chocolate.
red is like
She
my
said
favorite,
dark
but I
chocolate.
mean
Yeah, she
everything.
did.
Yeah, she said dark
I
chocolate.
like dark chocolate.
Yeah,
Even
let
in
me
my
see.
search, you'll
Hold
see
on.
dark chocolate.
that is,
let
I
me
feel
see.
like.
That is dark chocolate.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh,
I love it.
Man, my man got right up. look how he sat right up.
He
Like,
was
oh.
leaning back. Before she said anything, he was leaning back in the chair. Deion just chilling, hanging out. I don't know why they were all talking. Super Bowl week, I'm sure there was something going on. And, yeah, he shot up quicker than the Space Challenger rocket. I'll tell you what. He just, boom. Dark chocolate, huh?
So I believe this is their podcast, the Bella Twins.
Okay, that
I
makes
think this
sense.
is their podcast. They were at the Radio Row
Yeah.
at the Super Bowl.
Okay. I
I
cool,
think
but-
honestly, looking at the qualifications, I think we could be there next year. We have to send one segment of us talking about football.
That's it?
I think that's it.
Really?
I think if we send one segment of us having a hardcore football conversation, I think we can go.
Want to go to San Francisco now?
Hey, listen. hey, we'll go to the Bay Area next year. We got the cameras and stuff. Pete, Jacob, like we could all go to cover Super Bowl 60 next year.
It's a round number.
That's what he was. But no, yeah, I like that. That's why I made the joke earlier about that.
Yeah.
No,
I understand.
no, Coach Prime. That's that classic uncle.
You know, in a week where we were kind of like, man, there was a lot of stuff that really didn't pop out for us. It kind of feels like we're in a little bit of a lull, even despite being after Royal Rumble, because we know how important Elimination Chamber is going to be in the wrestling world. Yeah, we were looking for something. I even told Double A, I'm like, man, I don't know what's going to be the sweet moment this week. We were kind of like looking around, and then Coach Prime drops this gem into our lap, which, hey, man, you're about to have a son that plays quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and you may be dating Nikki Bella. Congratulations. How about that?
Well, you know what, though? But Nikki, she was – so he asked about favorite color. Chocolate is not necessarily a color.
It is.
I mean, it is.
Now,
but it's
remember
like
we were talking to with these two. Because the Bellas, the Garcias, whatever the fuck they're called now, I have no
Nikki
idea.
and Brie Garcia.
She's now technically Bella again. I don't know. I mean, she made the comeback. She's
Oh, yeah,
she's taking
Nikki
the
Bella.
name. Yeah, she didn't come out as Nikki Garcia.
Yeah.
They are the type of women with the taste to be like, yes, I find different. It's the different palettes of colors. Like, it's not like lime green. It's like citrus
It's
green
not the
or some shit.
Crayola 8-crayon collection.
It's not just green, blue, red, purple, brown. It's dark chocolate brown.
Can we replay the video? Just actually, we can replay the whole thing because it's hilarious. But the way that she answered this question, Pete, is absolute gold here. Take a look at it again.
What's your favorite color?
Well, lately I've been into dark chocolate, so that's been like my thing.
You know?
You know. So.
Hold up, stop right there.
He got up. He got up for half a second. He had to adjust himself in the chair to sit forward further. Look at this. Watch.
Yeah.
Pull back.
Yeah, look at
There's
this.
the penetrate. This motherfucker gets up on the edge of his seat.
Flavor of my
He's like, dark chocolate, huh?
I understand.
No, but like she answered, she could have picked any color. I'm literally any color.
The problem is, it's innocent. Right?
It's an evergreen question. What's your favorite color?
And she's probably telling the truth. She's like, I've been into darker shades of brown lately. It's been where I've been kind of seeing a lot of things and inspiration because they have the different brands and the different things they, I'm sure, have to pick colors for.
True.
I have to watch what I say now because I've been down this road before. It didn't go so well when I brought up the word color. But nevertheless, I mean, this is a thing.
Still using the past. Go ahead.
Yeah. I gotta get the ED out. But this is the thing with it was so innocent.
Yeah.
And of course, with the sunglasses you could see yourself in and pick your teeth in to make sure you don't have anything up there. Like it's prime, man. Just lean in.
There was a full context to this, but honestly, the backstory doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. It was hilarious.
I'm thankful.
Because it's a leader of young men. Look, we're not sitting here saying like, "Oh, Coach Prime shouldn't be doing this." Like
Nikki Bella, the Taylor Swift of college football. She
Yeah,
showed up to all the Colorado games.
Yeah, we're not going. This is innocent stuff. This is actually hilarious. But again,
shit.
just if you could play a video in silence and just read body language, it's amazing. Like this video is amazing.
Now,
this photo's amazing.
So I don't think Brie necessarily got it. Nikki, on the other hand, I think she got it pretty quick. And was kind of one of those smiles, but you could tell she was a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, there is a backstory between Brie and Coach Prime. There is a backstory.
What are you pointing at?
So, let's take a look here. So, the backstory. So, I believe this was weeks ago. Not weeks ago. Very recently. Coach Prime, or the Bellas, I should say.
He was like playing the video.
I know.
He was just going up and down.
It was cool.
No, that's how you produce a little bit of leash.
Brie admitted in a public forum. It wasn't on their show. It was on a public forum that she, when she was younger, had a crush on Deion Sanders.
Oh boy!
Like that was like one of her child celebrity crushes. Was the man we know now as Coach Prime.
Yeah.
Brie said that. So now knowing that Nikki, connect the dots here now.
You know what? Part of me also thinks now, too, knowing that, because I didn't, that is all this shit just like, who comes up with this shit? Like these ideas, like to do this stuff. It's unbelievable. To me, it feels almost like it was preconceived or like, hey, I'm going to say this, and then you're going to do this, and then
all the questions are made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah, like I'm watching fucking Drew Carey and Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Ryan Stiles is about to hit the stage. Can't wait. Colin Mockery and his bald head. Like it's gonna be it's.
Wait, are you saying that that's Wayne Brady?
No.
Okay.
Because then I'd be in trouble.
Oh shoot, you can't say that either. Does Wayne Brady have to? Never mind. I ain't saying that line. I could, but
I liked Wayne Brady. I thought it was funny.
It was.
He was really funny.
Hey, listen.
It was a good show, too.
All kidding aside, it was. It's a great show. It's still on the air, by the way.
I know.
Still.
They got the new host.
Yeah.
The new group, newish group.
Newish group.
Ryan and Colin are hanging out. Right?
It's like everyone except Drew Carey.
About? Who's the one person that was like the reason why they made the show in the first place isn't there anymore.
I didn't realize this.
It's like watching The Office without fucking Steve Carell. It's like, what we made this?
How old is Drew Carey?
He's got to be like 70 now.
So you're pretty close. I looked it up. I think he's 67.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
I swear it was just yesterday. Bob Barker was hosting the Price is Right.
The Price is Wrong, bitch.
So wait a minute. So at some point, believe it or not, at some point they're going to come up with a succession plan for Drew Carey.
I think
on The Price is Right.
If Drew Carey is not in Happy Gilmore 2 and he doesn't get in a fist fight with Adam Sandler, I'm almost not going to want to watch it.
Honestly,
I mean,
Coach Prime would be a great host for the Price is Right. He'd be a great host.
I was thinking more of Wheel of Fortune. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
His Vanna
Yeah,
White
he
can
worked
now
too.
be Nikki Garcia.
Oh,
so there
my
you
God.
go. Yeah. God, it's so creepy. Oof.
He wants dark chocolate. You know where you can get dark chocolate? B.A. Sweeties!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing this for the very first time. Double A doing a successful segue that actually made sense into our presenting sponsor of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. I mean, fantastic.
Man, listen. We know what week this is. We know what's going down tomorrow, actually. It's Valentine's Day. It's tomorrow. So, listen. If you want to get on what Coach Prime's trying to get on, B.A. Sweeties. That's what you need.
The key to Nikki Bella's heart, B.A. Sweeties.
Now, unfortunately, we cannot deliver the Bella Twins on the B.A. Sweeties commercial, but what they can deliver in this commercial you're about to see is all the other thousands and thousands of candies and sweets and pops and stuff that they have. 75 years rich tradition here at B.A. Sweeties. In fact,
Almost as rich as that dark chocolate.
see for yourself. Double A Anthony Alfred here for Sweeties, a family destination satisfying sweet tooths in Northeast Ohio on Brook Park Road for over 74 years. The largest candy store in North America with 40,000 square feet stacked to the rafters with over $5 million in inventory. Come down to Sweeties today on Brook Park Road at Ridge. Just look for the giant lollipops. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road, and you'll see that giant lollipop. Easy to spot, by the way, right off the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to spot that giant lollipop. You'll be right there.
See the building when you're driving off the freeway.
Yeah.
Nice bright sign, too.
And you see the dark chocolates there. Coach Prime.
Gotta
man.
let it go.
Coach Prime.
Jesus Christ.
It's Valentine's Day. It's coming up this week. I know if you've yet to get your significant other something,
Dark chocolate covered strawberries.
yeah. Get something. Yeah, get something. And even if you're not in a relationship, get something for yourself. Treat yourself. You want to be as happy as Coach Prime. Is he happily married, by the way?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good. Pete, can you look that up? Because Deion Sanders married. Can you look that up, please?
For the sake of the clip we just played a couple minutes ago, I hope so.
I hope not. No, that's not good. Well, whether you're happily married, you're single, or you're trying to get a chocolate for a side piece, B.A. Sweeties is right there for you. They got everything you need.
I say that I hope he is, so that way
Okay, good. Okay.
it makes sense. But
Can you
like
imagine
that way we can kind of course correct the creepy uncle gimmick that he had going for a minute there.
Can you imagine him leading his guys over Colorado? He's happily married.
Someone better bust his ass for that. Like one of his players, maybe the new quarterback they just got.
Yeah, man.
Bust his ass. Pull the clip. Have the assistant coaches pull it. Like, yo, first clip of the year, man. We wanted to start off strong,
Yeah.
but coach, man, you fumbled the bag a little bit at the beginning of the season. Let's play the clip. Dark chocolate, huh?
You know you gonna have a bunch of college football players all doing that uncle laugh now. Every time they're making, but they see it every day. Like they know. Like Shedeur Sanders, future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. You know for a fact that he knows about that laugh. He probably has that little laugh in him. Like, that's crazy.
Oh man, don't do that. Don't incriminate him already. He's not even the quarterback of the Browns yet. Give him some time before he gets some allegations.
Not allegations. No.
You just gave him the creepy uncle laugh because his
I-
dad does it. He
but
must do it too.
But he knows to laugh. He knows.
No, Bill Cosby's son must be a. No, never mind.
Scratch that from the record.
Next segment.
You can get dark chocolates. You get a bunch of cool stuff. You get this sour spray here, which is actually pretty good. It's a shake spray. Now, we bring this up for two reasons. Number one, this is good.
Mhm.
Even though I'm not a sour fan.
Even though the green still disappears because of the green screen behind us.
It was like purple. We tried it out. But this is good stuff, number one. Number two, we're debuting a second component to this segment.
Mm.
Because while everything is sweet, sometimes things is sour. And we are debuting the sour moment of the week right here on the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, this was rough. Not because it wasn't like, so I want to preface this. The reason why I kind of brought this up to you when we were preparing for the show was I like the hierarchy thing of like, you're trying to be like me. We've seen it a few times and they've not done the comparison properly. And this feels very accurate between these two because Tiffany was called the next Charlotte Flair, that kind of stuff. She looks like her, she talks like her, that kind of stuff. The queen complex, so to speak. But the literal treating her like a dog, like get on your hands and knees and beg me, like, and Tiffany just like kind of just doing this, like deer in the headlights look. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. I like that.
I'm gonna say I did laugh a little bit when Charlotte had the line of, what was it? You only speak when you're spoken to. I'm not gonna lie.
That was fine.
I kind of chuckled at
that was fine. But when what followed after it did,
Mm.
then I was like, wow, she really is actually talking to her like she's a dog. Like that's.
Do you feel like? Because I understand. Look, listen. We said last week on this show, and we reacted after her Raw appearance in Cleveland here last week. That if you don't realize, it's obvious that we're supposed to boo Charlotte Flair. Like, that's obvious. But at the same time, I don't know. I think last Friday was the first time Tiffany Stratton really was presented by her own admission as a babyface. So at the same time here, it's kind of tough here to look at the dynamic of the feud and say, man, are they really setting up Tiffany Stratton for success here? Like, Charlotte, is she like that leaps and bounds above her in terms of mic promo ability?
No. This is the matchup they're going to go with, obviously.
Oh,
and
I
think
believe so.
I think we want to see the match. It's just not the best start on the road to that match. There's still obviously time to fix this, and Tiffany can stand up for herself. And I guess sometimes you could always argue that in the moment you don't really know what to say, but when you have time to think about it, you can come back with stuff. That happens in everyday life. We get into certain situations, and maybe you haven't experienced it. Like, it's like you're working at a job you've been at for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You feel pretty confident. You're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Things going. You actually just got a promotion. You got a little bit of a raise from your boss. But then the person that's been working at the job for 10 years comes around. They come back. They're on the road or whatever it is, and they come back into the office, and they're like, "Oh, what's up, rookie?" And you're like, and they say something maybe that you haven't experienced in that job, and you don't really know what to say in that moment. You feel confident.
Or I'll add on to this. That person that comes back into the office or has been around, all of a sudden, you're technically above them.
Yeah.
In the chain of command.
Because you just got promoted.
Like, you just got promoted. You're above them in the chain of command, but they clearly have more experience. Yep. They have more. like if something goes down in the office, they're going to that person, not you.
They've had a lot of success. They've been one of the key cogs in the business, and now they're here.
Mm-hmm.
They've been gone for a little bit, but they're back, and you're like, oh, shit. So if they're playing that, I get it. But at the same point, just there was a couple moments where I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then there was when I was like, oh, man, I don't know. And she didn't do – they have a shit ton of time, obviously, because they're announcing these matches early, like with Jay and Gunther and everything too. But like, they have time to build her up more with the promos. She's over. I mean, the crowd's cheering for
Tiffany.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte's over too. They're booing the shit out of her.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's what you want from your heel. I mean, if in the championship match, you want reactions from both. You want everyone to be behind your babyface, and you want everyone to be like, "Fuck this guy or girl, whatever, this heel. I don't want her anywhere near, winning this match or whatever it is." So I mean, they have the recipe, the ingredients are on the table. Now, how do they mix them together, and how much of each ingredient do they put in to get the final product, which is hopefully a good match and a good build?
Any chance at all they actually go with Rhea and Charlotte?
Fuck no. That's no.
Now, I agree. What I do want to see, though, I want to see the way I kind of want to see it presented, though. I want Rhea to basically go out and say that Charlotte's running from her. Again, I don't know. It's probably unlikely they'll do that. But Rhea is not in the same position as Tiffany Stratton. Like, Rhea is established. Rhea has been there, done that. Not done that. She's doing it right now. She's the champion that has been around and whatnot. So I want them to kind of position things where, without burying Tiffany, and I don't know how they pull this off, but if Rhea can slip in a line in there on Raw next week, slip in and say, Charlotte, you're afraid of me. Like, you don't want anything to do with me. Like, I'm not, don't you dare challenge me.
It doesn't make sense. That's the only problem. Like, because they're 1-1. So Charlotte's, there's not a fear factor. She literally said she's trying to get inspiration from the person that she wants to challenge. And there's only two people that would make sense from that point, because she's never faced Tiffany and she's never faced Julia. So, I mean, those are the two that would draw something from her. She's already had those experiences with Rhea. I don't like my intelligence being insulted when it comes down to these selections. We knew Jay was picking Gunther. The fact that they even teased Cody was kind of annoying.
Well, they only did it for a week. I thought
this is my point with this. We know she's picking Tiffany. We know she's not going to go back to NXT and do that anymore, because that division is too fucking stacked and there's no room for her right now. She's not picking Rhea because we know Rhea is taking on the winner of the Chamber. That's pretty much been the con. It's the same thing with Cody. It's the winner of the Chamber.
I don't think it's as clear as the men's one.
It's pretty clear.
That's where I was somewhat disagree. I don't think it's as clear.
Do you think the winner of the Chamber is not going to face a champion?
Well, they're going to face a champion.
You think they would face Tiffany, the winner of that?
Maybe.
Rhea Charlotte's not happening.
What I'm getting at, though,
I can almost guarantee you that match is not happening.
But where I'm getting at, though, if we want to do like a full-fledged comparison, Jey Uso, we knew when he won the Royal Rumble, there's a 99% chance he was picking the world champion.
Mm-hmm.
In this case with Charlotte, I would say there's an 80% chance that she's picking Tiffany. 80%, which is still very high.
That's obviously,
but not as high, not as high as Jay, and enough to where. And again, I just threw in that one little element with Rhea. You can still carry on business the way that they intend to. Of course, you got Nia Jax. She's going to be in a championship match tomorrow as kind of a filler that what you're doing right now. But for Rhea, like, I guess what I'm saying,
I just don't see a 14-time champion being scared of anybody at that point. It's like saying Cena's scared of Cody.
No, you wouldn't be.
Or like Jay's ducking. Like, I mean, you can say Jay's ducking Cody because of that, but I don't know. Like, it's weird.
It's obvious that they're not. Let me rephrase it, because they're not scared.
I just want it to make sense. That's my only thing.
I guess my formula of how they're going about all of this with like both Royal Rumble winners, I understand what they're doing. Like, the Jay story is clear. Underdog, like, he's overcome certain things, but he's an underdog. He's going to be an underdog.
And he's lost to Gunther multiple times.
And he's lost to him multiple times.
Yeah.
He lost the week before.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden that booking kind of makes sense. And then shout out to Gunther. Gunther, I'm going to issue violence every single week. Jay's going to have to overcome new road to WrestleMania before we even get to the match. I love that story. 100% love that story. I don't want both Royal Rumble winners being portrayed as they're better than the champions. I just want Rhea to, at some point, go out and say that I'm better than Charlotte in some way, shape, or form. In our eyes, they can be viewed as 1-1, but I need Rhea to go out and say that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
If they want to drag it out more, they can, but we know what the end result's going to be. So that's why it's kind of like, I get trying to make some sort of entertainment value out of it, but sometimes it's right in front of your face. Like, before the Royal Rumble, we didn't know what was going to happen, for sure. Obviously, Jay was a surprise. Charlotte, maybe not as much. You picked Alexa, I picked Charlotte before the Rumble. We both kind of had an idea it was going to be one of those type Rumbles for the women's side, because there wasn't really anyone that had a hot year that was like coming up. With this, the Rhea Charlotte thing, they had great matches. They really did. But again, it's just the third match doesn't really feel like it's time. Kind of like Roman and Cody. Would the match be great? Of course it would, because those two are at the top of their game right now. But does it mean we really want to see it? It insults my intelligence a little bit when they think like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep playing this off when we kind of know. Okay, like it's.
I would say at the latest by next Friday.
Like, let's get the move on. Like,
we're
before
gonna get this. We're gonna get a decision
so that
by
way
next
we can
Friday.
make the importance of the Elimination Chamber even more. That's why the men's Elimination Chamber feels so important right now, is because we're an heavyweight title spoken for.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. It's going to be Jay and it's going to be Gunther. Who the fuck is Cody facing? We don't know. In a couple weeks, we're going to figure that shit out. Like, that's huge. That makes that event feel massive.
And we knew coming out of the Royal Rumble, the men's Elimination Chamber was going to be huge.
Yeah.
We need to make the women's no escape match huge as well.
Yeah, what the hell? They changed that graphic for like 1 second, and then it went back to Elimination Chamber.
That's
going to be on Botchamania next week.
I know there's a whole backstory with Germany and the Holocaust. I think that was. But
really?
Yeah. The term Elimination Chamber has not been used in Germany, I believe, since 2013 because of their history.
Okay.
So
they
have used. So Pete didn't know that. So
that's honestly
it actually. So that graphic actually slipped up. I think on Friday.
It was on American TV.
Yeah. The women's no escape match. So the rest of the world calls this match, Pete, the Elimination Chamber, but in Germany, this match is known as the no escape match because of
I feel like you weren't gonna escape from the Elimination Chamber either, but
let me make one quick thing about Tiffany. She got to elevate her game. Now, again, I will say maybe it was the booking. Maybe it was made to look like...
With Nia interfering, too, there wasn't a lot of time to go back and forth. I think you're exactly right.
But she needs to elevate her game as a babyface.
This is her chance.
You know, like she has not been in a position to where, okay, you have the microphone. You have to get the fans behind. The fans want to root for Tiffany. This is the matchup where nobody wants to root for Charlotte.
Oh yeah,
nobody wants.
And Tiffany
to root for
will
Charlotte.
get cheers. I think that what you want to avoid is after the initial. It's kind of like with Punk this past week on Raw. If you noticed, hey, great, came out, everyone's excited, and then he got into his promo, and the crowd started kind of leaving a little bit.
His promo didn't have direction,
and that's what I worry about with her because this is a new avenue, right? She's fully in the babyface corner
because
now.
even when she cashed in against Nia, the first SmackDown afterwards when she came out for the promo, that wasn't even a babyface promo.
She was still in her character. Yeah,
she was still really in her character.
But
she still was like, still was like, yeah, I did it. You guys doubted me. Like, you know, babyfaces don't say you guys doubted me. You know, so she has to deliver on the babyface side of things on the microphone.
Right.
We're going to see what happens. But I think you're right. I think either this Friday or for damn sure next Friday.
You want this wrapped up before probably Elimination Chamber, like for sure, to make sure, like, okay, this event feels like for both championships, for both Rhea and for Cody, like this is huge direction-wise for WrestleMania. It's only going to make the Chamber feel even more important, too. So.
We will continue to break down a no escape match in the weeks to come right here on the Side Hustle Podcast. Can I say this before you get into Ricky Starks? Where is he at? You, sir! Get off the damn phone!
He's tweeting that Ricky Starks is in AEW.
Two pictures from WWE.com, which is where we get our pictures for the show. Two pictures. That guy, that gentleman, is on his phone both times.
Yeah.
The second photo, he was actually cutting the promo.
He was tweeting like, holy shit, Ricky Starks is in NXT.
Like
oh my
the
God.
guy behind me, he's happy. He's a fan. Like oh my God, he's here. Everyone else who may or may not know who he is, like, all right, you know, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool future. This guy right here is like, dude, you UFC guy too? Come on, man.
It's really funny.
Get off the phone.
It's really funny because when I sent you like the topics and stuff that I was thinking about, and we were kind of going back and forth a little bit, I was like, hey, yeah, you know, there's obviously some releases from AEW guys that have been pretty prominent, you know, on their television, one of their young stars, and then a couple guys that were over in WWE that are now back in the open market, so to speak. And then I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a clip and I was like, I need to go to NXT and watch this. I record all the shows. It's all on the YouTube TV, like in my library, but I don't necessarily watch all of them. Sorry. But I went back and I was like, when the fuck did this happen? And I had to go all the way to the 9:30 hour before I finally found the 3 minutes of Ricky's. And I was like, shit.
Can I make one quick point, though, too? And we'll get to Ricky. NXT followed by local news is freaking nuts. Because you go from, like, what we talk about, pro wrestling storylines and the craziness of the storylines and whatnot, and then after the main event, after they plug Vengeance for this weekend, lead story, young girl killed by a stray bullet. Second story, another young man shot to death in an accidental shooting on the west side. Third story, first alert weather day. Like, oh my.
Yeah.
If you work local news, like, and we did it, and you extensively on the news side here in Cleveland, and across the country, like, local news is not for the weak at all. Like, it is. And I'm not talking like
someone say neither is pro wrestling.
And I'm not talking cable news and politics. I'm talking about local news, like stuff that actually matters to the community. Like, that is not for the weak. To report that stuff every day, like, crazy. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you get very when you're in it, you get very desensitized.
Yeah.
To a lot of stuff. Like, it's I'm going to houses where there's been murders and stuff, and it's like, yeah. So how do you feel?
That's the crazy part. It's like, now that we're out of it, like, you really realize, like, holy smokes, this is nuts.
It's when, like, people would be around me and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you see this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." It's like that's it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm used to it." Like, what we're not used to is seeing young generational talents that were built in a promotion leave and go to another promotion.
Now, sell me, because I'll be honest, I was not overly sold on Ricky and AEW. So sell me as to why this is a big deal.
It's one of those guys, one of those young talents that was built. We talk about the pillars sometimes over in AEW, those like core guys that they were hanging their hat on, the MJFs, the Darby Allins, those kind of guys. Ricky was in that conversation as one of those young guys that needed some time, but Cody was his mentor. He was learning a lot. He was kind of building a character that was on an upward trajectory. Obviously, Cody leaves. He's a Cody Rhodes guy. He's one of those guys where it's like, yeah, Cody's it's kind of like MJF. Now, MJF is so over and got so over that he kind of eclipsed that Cody mantra and became his own thing. Ricky never got to that level. But as you can see, the look's there, the confidence is there, his wrestling ability, he's got that as well. I think NXT is a good spot for him for now because he's not one of those guys like Aleister Black, like Rusev or whatever, Miro, whatever you want to call him, that had that run in WWE.
Rusev Day.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen with all that shit. You can go back to, Bulgaria or Romania, wherever he's, I don't know, but I mean.
We'll talk about all that coming up in a few minutes.
But this is one of those guys who's a 20-something that could be, the 20s or like early 30s at the latest.
I saw CM Punk.
Yeah.
CM Punk was thrilled. He said something on his IG.
I mean, this is one of the reasons that's keeping some of those guys around. Like, okay, I want to be here for this kid. I want to see what he comes and turns into. Like, in WWE, you're looking for those guys because Cena's done after this year. Punk is done after probably a few more years. Like, Roman's on a light schedule. Cody, I'm sure at some point is going to take less dates.
Cody's turning 40 this year.
Yeah. So
if he's not already 40.
Who are we looking at as the future? We're looking at the Braun Breakers, looking at the Carmelo Hayeses, Trick Williams, these guys that are in their late 20s, early 30s, Dom Mysterio, some of these guys that are going to be around for the next 10, 15 years. If he reaches his potential, this is one of those guys, and he can cut a fucking promo. He wasn't given a lot of mic time towards the end of his run in AEW when he was actually on TV. But this dude has the confidence to cut a promo, which is difficult for some of the younger people in this business nowadays that are even getting this kind of exposure, be it AEW or WWE, to be able to do what he did, to go out there and to be confident. Hey, you know what? You're popping out, say a few things, be felt, get the fuck out. He can do it, and he can do it well.
I love the very first line of this promo. The very first line. So you guys already know who I am.
Bingo.
That was the very first line. He chanted his name. We don't even know if they're going to go with that as his name. They could switch it up.
I'd imagine they're going to keep it. Yeah, it's.
But hell, the fans knew who he was. I mean, and think about how hard. We praise, going way back. We praise Scott Hall for randomly showing up to WCW and interrupting a match. Think about how hard it really is to not be given any promo video, any like, hey, come in NXT.
You're showing
like
up,
this,
and you don't know if they know who you are.
You don't have music.
And this is not one of those guys I talked about that's been on WWE before and has been all around, and he's one of the big superstars.
Literally, they told him, you're going to walk out. You're really not going to have wrestling gear. You're going to wear a tank top. And we're going to give you a mic.
He's been talked about the most he's been talked about over the past couple weeks because of like, hey, is he going to get released? And I think it broke maybe Sunday or Monday morning that he had officially been let go. Finally from AEW after all the bullshit they've been going on back and forth with. And then the next night he shows up.
Now, the key is going to be, and I think this picture is actually great to analyze here. Now, the guy behind me, he's clearly aware of who this is. And like
Mick Foley, yeah, he's really excited.
Pretty excited. Yeah. Damn. Pretty excited. He's ready to go. I think some of these guys know who he is and is aware that this is a star.
I'm telling you, the phone guy is tweeting it. He's not... He's trying to be first, okay? Ricky Starks in WWE.
Show.
Exactly. He wants proof that he was first.
Hold up. Scoot back for a second. Let me see what the other guys are doing. Okay. Okay. Listen.
The one dude looking the other way.
Listen.
Look at the one.
Listen.
He's right by my elbow.
Yeah, man.
His eye, he's clapping, but his head's turned.
Yeah.
Like he's waiting for someone else to fucking pop out. Like,
hey,
dude, look to your left.
No.
Like,
hey, listen. You want to see if you're on screen? I know it's the Performance Center. It's a little different too.
Can we get my tweeter some Just for Men, like, or maybe some hair plugs or something? Can we get him over to Turkey? Like, what's going on? Like, he needs to get that situated up top.
If you want to take this,
get him on the LeBron James plan.
The LeBron plan.
Just dark chocolate spray paint for the top of your head so you can get that hairline back.
Hey, Pete, put a one shot on Kyle for a hot second. I just want to see something. Yeah, you're right about that fan.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. Yeah, he is.
Fitting at the top, and there's nothing behind that. But don't worry, the C's are parted like Moses on the side, so he's got that going for him.
All right, here's the thing. If you look at this picture and you want to just say, oh, this is your sample size, like how most surveys are done, big surveys talk about, hey, we surveyed 1 million people. You really surveyed 5 people.
Double A now working for the U.S. Census. But anyways.
If you take this picture into consideration, the one guy you can see in the picture, he probably watches all of wrestling. He probably is knee-deep in AEW. He knows who he is, that kind of thing.
I would argue he's a UFC fan.
Yeah, see if you can find. I have a whole complaint. This is not the show to do it. UFC's
it's all over the place.
All over the place. They have sacrificed superstars for the brand. Anywho, anywho, I think the guys at the top, I would say 50, 60, 70%. They know who he is. They know he's a big deal. They can't wait to see him in action, but they want to see, like, hey, how's this going to be presented? How is Ricky going to look? And how's he going to be booked in NXT? Automatic. Oh, that's the other question. Babyface or heel?
So I think initially and this happens, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when Charlotte came back at the Rumble. Like, you're going to get the cheers. He's so confident, and rightfully so. Dude, like I said, Duke can cut a fucking promo.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that ability. Like, maybe a heel. I don't know. I told you, I think what I said was, if Finn Balor was American, was the vibe I get from Ricky Starks. If that makes sense.
Dive into that a little bit more.
So, same body type, same kind of move set. He's got some high risk stuff. He's got some things obviously that he can do. The promo ability, Finn has it. He has the emotion. He has the grit. But sometimes, and this is not his fault, but sometimes he acts like he can get in the way a little bit. Sometimes you don't take him as seriously. Pivot that to, like, this is now someone the American audience, you're going to be able to understand him all the way through. He's got the fire. He's got the ability to cut those promos. And he's got the in-ring that I think Finn has too, where Finn is one of the best wrestlers I think in the world still.
Yeah.
This guy brings that. And again, he's 15 years younger.
Yeah.
20 years, whatever it is. Finn's like 43 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is, I'm just saying.
The one thing, and maybe he'll use this to his advantage, that Edge promo from a couple years ago, if people only know him from the Edge promo a couple years ago about that young kid who doesn't really take things seriously, he could use that to his advantage, considering the downward trend that AEW is at right now.
I'm just saying.
Use that to his advantage.
Dude is.
That is a star.
You
look at him.
You feel it.
You know it's a star in the making, even if you don't know about him.
And he's hungry.
He wants to be good.
He was basically taken off TV by AEW. Like, they didn't have anything for him. Tony couldn't think of anything to do with someone like that.
So I mean, if you look at these releases, and we just combine both of them from AEW and WWE. To wrap up on the AEW side for a hot second first, I think you have guys who, they're like, wait a minute, how come I'm not being used in this promotion, and the whole promotion as a whole is down, but you're telling me that I'm not good enough to be used, that I'm not. And I know there were some conflicting factors of maybe Aleister Black didn't want to put anybody over, maybe Rusev didn't want to put anybody over, and then, of course, Starks, you got that situation there too. But, it's hard to you don't just give stars away. You just don't. Now, with that being said, let's be fair. Is WWE giving away potential superstars?
I think the names that stand out to me on WWE's list, Isla Dawn's one that I thought had a lot of talent. But again, sometimes it's just in America, on American television, it's tough. And I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. But sometimes it's tough when you have the accent, no matter where you're from. England, Australia even too. Some of the Aussie. Look at Tegan Knox. All the talent in the world. She got hurt a lot. But, I mean, like, sometimes it's just hard. Like, the promos matter. And, like, you need to be able to bring that. Becky found a way to get around it too with the Irish accent. She sometimes
she had to change her character to do it.
She had to really work through that and get through it, and she's one of the success stories. And I'm glad she got through and did what she did. But like, it's tough, man. I mean, she's one of them. I think Sonya Deville was kind of interesting just from a standpoint of that group really wasn't hitting with a lot of people.
I know, but Sonya as a whole is a complete missed opportunity.
She has a lot of talent, and I think there's got to be a way. Cedric's always been fumbled. I mean, that's one of those things where he's one of the better wrestlers too you're going to catch. But it goes back to the difference you're seeing between the AEW releases and WWE releases.
Mm-hmm.
Full circle characters. Can you cut a promo? Can you wrestle? Can you be a full-on superstar, so to speak? A lot of the names on that list, Paul Elling's a manager, so I mean, he just kind of, it was process of elimination. Then we're going to keep him around because Karrion Kross has a manager at Scarlet.
They never let him talk either.
Yeah, which is kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reasons why that list is what it is because they weren't full-rounded superstars that WWE wants. Also because, like we said before, NXT's fucking packed with some really good talent, especially on the women's side.
Division.
You have to make some space because Roxanne's coming up and some of these other girls that, are kind of hanging out like Lola Vice and Jada Parker. And, they don't really have much going on down there. They're going to be on the main roster soon. And they're going to be taking one of those spots anyway. You want to give some of these girls a chance. I think Blair Davenport was the other one, too, that a lot of people were like, oh, my God. Because she didn't really get a shot, per se. I think she was going to be a part of a group with Chelsea Green, maybe, but didn't work out.
And I felt bad just because she was going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I believe Nikki Bella took that spot. Sorry. But Vinci is a sad case. I don't know what happened.
He had I think he was going to go with
no clue what happened.
Down the Rich gimmick, too. I guess they just decided that Imperium needed to implode.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're teasing Pete Dunne with.
Yeah,
which I mean, hey, okay.
What Pete Dunne is fine, but I'm just saying, like they take him off Imperium. He's off television for months.
Yeah.
Then they put him back on TV. He gets squashed, I think twice, and then he's been off of television ever since.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
So again, not a flawless situation at all.
I will say this: so there's the preconceived notion that all three of the guys that were released from AEW are going to pop up on WWE TV. I want to point something out. Obviously, Ricky Starks has, and he's young, he's talented. We knew he was probably going to be the one name for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's no guarantee that Rusev's coming back.
Correct.
No guarantee. Like, Lana didn't come back. I know they're separate. They're separated now. They're divorced, whatever it is. But he may just be done because that dude's been through some shit from both companies where he was not utilized properly. He had runs, but never really felt like he reached his full potential. He may just say, fuck it, I'm done. He's made plenty of money.
Or, I mean, if he wants to continue but doesn't like the whole
go to Japan, go somewhere else. Like, just dude,
TNA.
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
TNA.
I will say this though, I think Aleister Black, because of how much Triple H was a huge fan of him, I fucking loved Aleister Black.
Yeah,
like I thought at one point he could be the next Undertaker because the entrance was fucking sick. When he was allowed to, he could cut a promo, but then he got a little bit weird at some point when certain people took back over NXT and it got kind of awkward and he needed to get the fuck out. And I'm glad he got some time away to decompress. Obviously, Zelina's a key with that too, being his wife. You know, SmackDown could use him, but 3 hours, fucking A.
That's the other part. They're going to cut back down to 2, I think, in
June. Well, that's the rumor. We haven't seen that officially
we'll
yet.
See.
But I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, USA may be like, no, we want a 3-hour wrestling show.
Kudos to Elite Rockers, Elite Club SOB on Twitter for having this listed in clean fashion. I do want to mention one other thing. Again, I don't want to take shots at AEW while they're down, but I will because why the hell not?
You're assuming they're down. It depends on who you ask.
I'll give AEW a quick compliment. Tony Storm had a great week. Tony Khan knows how to book Tony Storm. So
debatable, but she's a great talent.
She's a great talent.
And she probably runs a lot of stuff that he just greenlights.
Listen, she's a great talent.
Take it easy. When she dresses up as Mariah May, is that
oh boy, she's a great talent.
Yeah.
Listen.
Are you wondering if she likes dark chocolate too?
Hey, Juice Robinson got that on lock. Look at this though. So when one company doesn't have anything for their talent and they got to reload, then you gotta let them go. You get 90 days, figure something out. Don't bury them on the way out. Meanwhile, another company, when they don't have something for their guys, they keep them under contract, but they don't do anything. They want to wrestle. They want to be successful. They want to have higher earning potential, and they have to basically fight their way to get out of there.
Yeah.
And they're made to look like bigger superstars at the competition.
You're seeing it multiple times now from both companies. I mean, when someone gets – look at Cody even. Cody was one of the founding members of AEW, and he kind of hit a wall, self-imposed a little bit too, but I mean, at the same point, he wasn't going to get past that level, because of the people that were also running the show with him a little bit, and he goes to WWE, now he's the biggest star in the company. I mean, there's levels to every single person that's done this, and I mean, it's unfortunate from their standpoint because we like having the competition, and I want some of the talent there to do well, but man,
you can't hold them high. And I'm not saying WWE is not at fault with this. We just talked about Vinci. There's some other names.
But they did something with him. Like he was on this new rich guy gimmick or whatever it was. Like they had something kind of drawn out, but again, there just wasn't really a lot there. I mean, at least they tried something. Like with some of these guys from AEW, they haven't done shit in a year. Like Ricky Starks has been off TV since. Fuck, I don't know. I mean, maybe he showed up.
That Edge promo I referenced, that was when Edge basically first showed up.
Yeah, like over a year ago. Yeah. Like he hadn't done shit. Like he's just been hanging out.
Cope. Sorry, guys. Cope.
Whatever. We need 4 letters and we can't take that one, so let's do this. Like, okay, cool. Again, show me more reasons why you're trying to copy the product that actually had him and was successful for 25 years with him. But nevertheless, I don't.
Like this. But you know what? Again, it's tough because on one hand, they are getting paid. But on the other hand, you do want to compete. On the other hand, you want an opportunity to enhance your earning potential while you're still at your prime.
It's still competitive. I mean,
while you're still at your prime. Because again, even with Ricky Starks, a year off of television, that's a year where he could have been main eventing shows. That's a year where he could have been building himself up. That's a year of him in prime physical condition where he could not do anything because, yes, he's under contract, and yes, he's financially taken care of.
Oh, well, he's 34. Sorry, I missed that.
34?
Ricky Starks is 34.
So imagine him wrestling at 33. Like, there's a year where he's not going to get back. So that's the tough. We got to move on. But it's tough when you think about things like that. It's like you cannot willingly take a year or two off of people's career just because.
And it kills their heat. It kills their momentum. It can kill a lot of stuff when they're just not on TV and they're talented.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people, hey, I got nothing for you. A lot of the WWE releases, it's kind of like that, where, hey, we just don't really have a lot. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are like they've been free agents like 6 times they've been fired from WWE. It's like all the
they might be back. And that's the other thing, too, with releases. Dates clear out, you might be back.
Yeah.
They might be part
McIntyre,
of TNA.
Rhodes, a lot of these guys, they were released and came back. I mean, I don't think there's any of those names on that list, but I mean, it happens, so you never know. But
let me read this tweet here. You see it on the screen, but I want to read it for our audio listeners. From Wrestle Ops. This was WrestleVote's Q&A Backstage Pass. There are people within WWE that would rather see Cody Rhodes defend the Undisputed Championship in a triple threat match against John Cena and CM Punk at WrestleMania 41 in comparison to Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
I know how much you love triple threat matches.
I know. Listen. Okay. You made a pitch when we were talking about this off air. Deliver your pitch.
So I think that match, the championship match, makes more sense than the other one. I know you had an issue with Punk.
That part I agree.
Punk, Reigns, and Rollins.
That part I do agree with.
There technically is a story there with those 3, but nevertheless, I think this one would check more boxes from a standpoint of obviously Cody needs a challenger. Let's start there because right now he doesn't have one. Right, for WrestleMania at least. It gets Punk his main event. It gets Cena his opportunity for the 17th title, and that storyline, which they want for WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. Let's have that be a thing. And it protects Cody from taking the pin. So whoever you decide to win the match, be it Cody, be it if they decide to give the title to Cena and have him break the record, if Punk finds a way to convince enough people to be champion this early or whatever it is, that means Punk or Cena can take the pin and Cody doesn't have to technically lose, so to speak, but he can still lose the title. It's the commonality in a triple threat or a fatal 4-way or whatever it is that you can have the champion lose and not technically lose the title, so to speak, not be pinned in the decision or submitted or whatever. So that's an out for Cody. Also gives you an opportunity to run that shit back one-on-one with either if Cena wins or Punk wins with Cody. Going through Backlash and wherever they're at. I think it's in France or
wherever it is.
Or whatever else.
Somewhere not here in America.
Somewhere across the pond. But nevertheless, I mean,
send it back to Puerto Rico. That was lit. Last year's was great too.
Yeah. So I mean, this gives you the opportunity to do that, where you can have the one-on-one feud afterwards and get the biggest possible match with the most stars in. I don't mind that. I don't mind really either match, but it depends on who's facing Cody. If it's going to be one-on-one Cena versus Cody, you kind of have to do Roman, Seth, and Punk, unless you want to see Logan Paul versus CM Punk. I really don't.
So that kind of leads into my point here. I think sometimes, because of honestly what we do, and obviously all of you watching, some of you are legit, full-fledged internet fans. I think sometimes companies are scared to disappoint fans. And what I mean, I don't mean lazy booking or anything like that, or anything that goes on at AEW. I'm talking about
Jesus.
Your
turn.
I'm talking about my favorite superstar is not in the main event championship match.
Okay.
I go back to WrestleMania 29. I think it was 28 or 29. 29. When CM Punk had that title for 434 days.
Yeah.
And then he dropped the belt to The Rock.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, and I was one of them, I wanted a triple threat with Punk, Cena, and The Rock.
Yeah.
Instead, we got what was termed the corporate main event of Rock Cena 2.
Right. And
CM Punk had to settle for a one-on-one match against The Undertaker back then. And I used the term settle very loosely.
Yeah.
I think in this case, a better story is told. You're right about checking off things. I'm not disputing that at all. I think a better story is told if you make a choice between either Cody and Cena or Cody and Punk, or Cody versus whoever else you decide. But I think those are the 2 top names.
Out of curiosity, when we were, besides the Bloodline shit, going into WrestleMania, what was the hottest story on WWE television?
Going into Mania last year?
That wasn't Bloodline related. It's hard to think about this, but you have to rack your brain a little bit. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, and I'll get to my point in a second.
Was it, oh boy, Sammy?
No. It was Drew.
Yeah, Drew.
Drew was, we talked about it constantly, how great he was doing. And
Drew was knocking it out of the park
and
every
it
week.
was Drew and Rollins and the whole, hey, you're avoiding me because of the Bloodline story. But who was the third member in that story that really put it over the top?
CM Punk. But CM Punk was not in the match.
No, but there was a third person involved. So you're
I get what you're saying. A third person can still technically be involved. But you brought up Logan Paul. Logan Paul versus John Cena is a box office match because of Cena's post-Royal Rumble promo, saying, due to my years of service, my years of dedication to WWE, it's an obligation to have me basically win the chamber and go to the main event. Obviously speaking in kayfabe, but it's John freaking Cena in the main event. And Logan Paul, who doesn't have any respect for the business, taking that moment away.
The only way that works for me, the only way I actually want to see that is if Logan eliminates Cena from the chamber.
And that's how...
It has to be.
That would be the only way.
Otherwise, if Cena pins Logan but still loses the chamber to Punk, I don't want to see that match.
Okay, so let's go with that. So let's say that happens, because in my eyes, that would be the vision.
Yeah.
Logan Paul again, or not again, but Logan Paul takes out Cena. And then Logan could come out on Raw the following day and say,
I beat John Cena.
Not just that he beat John Cena. John Cena took the opportunity away from him because John Cena eliminated Logan Paul at the Rumble. Yeah. And again, remember, fans, if you want to ensure that John Cena gets a W at WrestleMania, have him face Logan Paul. He gets the W.
I think the goal for WrestleMania is to have the biggest possible matches with the best possible stories. And there's a story there. You're exactly right. There definitely is. But is it bigger than Cena going for 17?
And that's the other question. So let me flip this back to you. Which match is bigger? Cody, Cena, and Punk in a triple threat, or Cena, Cody, one-on-one?
I think the triple threat is bigger because of CM Punk. It's not even just like we're just adding somebody in. His own story is the main event of WrestleMania. And if all intents and purposes, it appears Jay and Gunther are going to main event night one.
Right.
That's the spot. If he's not in that spot, if he's in a triple threat with Roman and Seth, or if he's fighting just Roman or just Seth, it's not the main event.
Correct.
That story pops enough to me where it's like, you know what? Again, it's about having the biggest possible event with the biggest possible match. I think if you tie that story into Cena going for 17 and for Cody saying, fuck you both, man, I want to make history. My journey isn't complete until I really finish this and defend this title at WrestleMania and win it and keep it. I mean, those three different narratives going in, and obviously those three in a ring together, the promos, everything's going to be fucking wild. I mean, it'd be great. It's going to be must-see TV. I mean, it's not taking away from Cena and Cody, I don't think, because Punk added into that is a good foil for both of them. Because you have to think about this too. You have two white meat baby faces that are supposed to be conflicting now for over a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're getting a Cena heel turn, which we're not. Let's be honest. He's having a fucking retirement tour. He's not turning heel. I hate to break it to people, but it's not happening.
But I want his theme music, though.
I bet you do.
He worked on it.
People that want Cody to turn.
Kyle,
I hate to break this to you.
He worked very hard on it.
Cody's not fucking turning either. So you need that person in there that can kind of blur the lines a little bit and pit these guys more against each other. I feel this could work out really well. Would I be mad if it was just Cena and Cody? No. But I think this is nice for Punk, too, because he gets his moment. He doesn't have to win the match either. He just wants to be in the main event.
Who does have to win?
Punk. He'll take the fucking pin. I guarantee you he would. Like, who do you want to win? Cena? Pin me. Like, he'll take that shit. He just wants to be in the moment.
Do you not want Cody to take a pin at the main event of WrestleMania?
I think at this point, because you can have that single match after the fact and it still be big, because Cody then has a gripe.
Because let's be clear, too, we imagine John Cena will not be around immediately after WrestleMania.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
I know he has the dates, but immediately
if
after
he wins the
WrestleMania.
championship, he will be here.
See, but that's the thing. I don't know if he's winning the championship.
I do.
So
if he wins the chamber, I got a good feeling.
I don't know if he's winning. If he wins the championship, and let's just say, because I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised to see that's not been on. He's only used 3 dates.
So he's still filming the movie, remember?
Yeah, he's still filming the movie.
Remember what he said he was going to give you the full year, but then decided he wasn't going to give you the full year?
He's giving you the right.
He's filming Matchbox in Hungary.
Right. It's like Brock Lesnar, I'm back. And then you look, oh, shoot, he has a deal.
He's going to be here in 3 months. Shit.
Yeah.
Phil. Phil Brooks. Phil.
I don't mind Cody taking a pin. I know we got to move here. I don't mind Cody taking a pin. I don't mind Cody. Hey, it's a full year. He failed. Or did he fail? I don't know. But he failed to win the match.
But with the triple threat, too, there's more moving parts. He could take the pin, even in that situation, if you needed Cody to take the pin. Okay, well, there was another person in the match, too. There was multiple things going on.
The only thing I'm saying, though, is be considerate of the rest of the card. I know we want for the biggest matches, which is your goal. I was just saying, be considerate of the rest of the card. And what's next after Mania.
This opens up too, if they go this direction, to have Roman versus Seth 1-on-1. That story.
Personally, again,
yes.
if we're just reading this, because I'm taking a bigger issue. I'm talking about triple threats overall. This statement, I 100% agree with.
I'd rather see Roman and Seth and then that other triple threat than have Punk have to be thrown into a match with Logan or into that triple threat with Roman and Seth. I think Roman and Seth, that story, chewing on it for a week, that needs to have its own conclusion.
Yeah.
And that's a huge fucking match.
Yeah.
And then you can have this triple threat for the title. You can have Logan versus Braun Breaker or AJ Styles or whatever fucking direction they're going in. Maybe they had the triple threat ladder match or a 6-man ladder match with the Intercontinental title, so you get those guys in that match and you can put big names in there to make that feel important. I don't know. But that's where I would go in this situation.
I do want to correct the one statement I disagree with you with, though, and we'll move on. I think if Punk is in the main event, Punk has to win. I know backstage you'll say, oh, I'll take the pin. I think
he's never said, like, I want to win the main event. He's always, it's like the Cody. Now, again, that could change. Because remember, you talked about it last year with Cody. It was, I need to be in the main event. That he came out and literally said, I need to beat you, Roman. It's not about the main event anymore. It's about you in the main event. Punk could, if he gets in the situation, could then say, you know what, I need to win this too. Which obviously, if you're going to be there, you don't want to just fucking lose. But I mean,
the one thing I'm just concerned with from Cody's standpoint, if you put both Cena and Punk up there, and I understand they're like you could pair off one-on-one. You put them both up there, and Cody still wins. There's no reason for Cody to face either of those in a one-on-one situation.
Depends who he pins.
It's different.
Depends on who he pins.
It's different if Cena or Punk wins. Even in a scenario where Cody doesn't take the fall, that's different. But if Cody gets a W...
Do we think Cody's winning at WrestleMania?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Depends
what the match is.
Honestly, depending on the match, I'm 90% sure... Depending on who he's facing, I'm 90% sure he is not winning.
If it's one-on-one with Cena, I don't know.
Now, if they run it back... Now, if it's Cody Solo Part 4, then he's walking away with the championship. People were pissed about that.
I missed you, Solo, but not that much.
Look.
You're going to look great with the U.S. title, buddy.
It's an ideal elimination chamber. Cody needs to be in action.
You think he's going to have a match with Solo at Elimination Chamber?
Cody?
Won't be like the SmackDown before, or won't be like the SmackDown after. Like
It'll be at the chamber.
Well, they're doing the thing with with Rhea and Io, the Raw after.
The Raw after.
I could see maybe the SmackDown before.
I
we
don't
have
think
Cody.
so. I'm sorry, that match. Cody Rhodes is too good to wrestle in a championship match of the USA Network. I'm sorry, you need matches at the No Escape pay-per-view.
You need a match for a 3-hour fucking SmackDown.
I understand that, but you need matches for the No Escape pay-per-view.
They got two big ones. They got two big. Throw another tag team match in there. Throw another 2 out of 3 falls.
We saw how the 2 out of 3 falls, the 5 out of 7 falls match worked last time.
That's the 7 series in one night. Yeah.
So we had an elaborate conversation about the triple threat. Was triple threats we want to see, what we don't want to see.
This could all get fucked up.
Things, we go to the Elimination Chamber, and everything comes into play. And then the Raw after the Elimination Chamber, this beautiful man behind me says, The Rock, says...
Milk chocolate.
Now, that's milk chocolate. This milk chocolate of a man says...
Jesus Christ.
I'm free. I'm ready for WrestleMania. I'm ready to swoop on in and compete in the main event of WrestleMania.
Pull a sever. Let the record show that Double A called The Rock milk chocolate.
What you doing?
What you doing, Dwayne?
Also coming up.
We're going to talk about every single one of these superstars
So get ready.
in like 2 minutes. Speaking of getting ready, you guys got to get ready for this because we've been able to compile a great team here at the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. And these three partners, obviously, B.A. Sweetie, Mike Favorite, again, our State Farm agent, and Megan Gallagher at Mag Video Marketing. Fantastic group.
Right.
I did. I learned from you. You're the star of the show, man. Seriously. Yep. Dark chocolate. Nevertheless, we're excited with these three. We're so excited. We want you to hear from them directly.
Tom, do you know where everything is here in the store?
No.
Okay.
In a general idea, I do, but I can't tell you how many times my office is on the floor of the store,
Right.
and my door is always open. All our managers' doors are always open if they're there. So if any customer has a question or whatever, if they can't find an employee, stock guy or whatever on the floor, they can just, hey, where's this at? So I can't tell you how many times a customer would come in and say, can you tell me where sugar-free candy is? And I'll say 12N. No, 12S.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And it says it's right down. Go down this way because you're in aisle 7 now. 5 more aisles or whatever. And then I'll think about it after they leave, and I'm like, oh man, I told them the wrong aisle. It's aisle 13.
What should fans who might be watching you here in Cleveland for the first time, hey, they look you up on the website, on the app, they call you, what should they expect?
Yeah, I mean, first off, between me and my team, you're going to get one of us. If you want to deal directly with the man, you're more than welcome to. I don't mind. I love working with customers because I look at it this way. I have a lot of good life experience financially. I've said 12 years of banking. I've got now 2.5 years of insurance. I have a lot of money and just kind of life and financial stuff knowledge. So that's what I look to do, is to truly help people get from that point A to point B financially. It's not about just, saving money on auto insurance, sure, but if I can kind of turn that into a better discussion, really help people understand what actually insurance does, why it's important, because it's not a tangible. I joke when I leave that I lock the office door so no one steals all the insurance, but there's not just insurance laying around. So there's just it's kind of a mystery kind of component in people's lives that they think is a scam and all the different things you hear. It's not. It can feel like it sometimes. I'm not even going to say that it doesn't, but if you understand how it works and understand and have a person who you can go to help with those kind of situations, that's what we're here to do. That's what my team's here to do. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I take a lot of pride and have a lot of passion in, obviously, as you can probably tell. So,
Well, I know you said the joke, hey, we lock the door so no one steals the insurance, but it's exactly right.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Man, listen.
Careful.
What?
I don't know. You set up like Dion. I got nervous.
Buster!
Oh, remember the rails the show is on? Well, it's off.
Listen. Listen, if you're a digital, you know what the cool thing too from the Super Bowl halftime, across everything. We were talking about the Super Bowl halftime show, but the cool thing, all the social media TikTokers, all the social media digital content creators across the board, they're tagging on to their thoughts, whether they liked or disliked the halftime show. But you want, like, these creators, it's amazing how much reach that they have gained and conquered and whatnot. And if you want to expand that reach, Megan Gallagher, she's going to take care of your social media pages, whether it's for personal use or even professional use.
You talk about, like, hey, like, for me, for instance, right, I'm big, obviously, with the TikTok and with the YouTube. That's where I handle. But maybe you're lacking a little bit in a certain area. Maybe my Facebook presence is where it needs to be. Maybe my Instagram isn't where I need it to be. She has the full round scope of social media kind of on lockdown as far as where to get your name out there, where to get your brand out there, what messaging you need to do, that kind of thing. Meg has that covered. So it's one of the reasons why we enjoy our partnership with her, but also why you would enjoy it too, is being able to kind of hit all those spots maybe you don't think you're doing as well at, and kind of accentuate the strengths you have as well.
I'll be honest, social media is hard.
Yeah.
Like you just mentioned, there are certain things like we're really good at, and other, there are weak points. So she's going to cover the entire spectrum for you. And even, again, on the professional side, you need your presence felt on LinkedIn. She's going to put a video together. When she was here in studio, one of the questions that she brought up on the survey that we did was like, do you want your video to be vertical or horizontal? And I'm just thinking in my head, like, why is that a big deal?
What platform is the video going to be on?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being able to think about stuff like that, where maybe you're obviously, if you're running your business, you're thinking about the business. You're thinking about, how do I do this? How do I provide my consumers? How do I make sure I have enough product? How do I make sure, I'm getting my message out, obviously, but you don't think about some of that stuff, like the nit and gritty kind of details to, how you present yourself as a brand and as a business. So she thinks of that stuff, honestly.
She'll make it happen. You saw the email for our audio listeners again, meganrg440@gmail.com. That's meganrg440@gmail.com.
Then this motherfucker right here.
That's how you start an insurance meeting.
Love Mike, and by all means, walk into the meeting and say that. Oh, you're that motherfucker that likes to wrestle. Like, he'll love you. No, Mike is awesome too. I mean, I'll tell you what, he probably would actually really enjoy that. Dude is great. We joke about the wrestling, and he's a professional wrestler now. He made his debut back in January over at Exodus Pro Wrestling, and again, a subsidiary of the NWA, so to speak, but still a fantastic job for Mike in that. But the day job, what he prides his career on now, is obviously helping you when it comes to insurance. Again, on all facets, we talked about whether it's home, auto, obviously life insurance is a big thing now. A lot of focus on that moving through, just because, again, it's one of those conversations you really don't want to have when something's happening. You want to be prepared for it. It's kind of like most situations with insurance. You want to make sure it's one of those things that's already behind you. You took care of it, not going through the motions in that moment and then being like, oh, fuck, I got to call the insurance guy and figure this shit out. You want to make sure you're ready and good to go with that. Mike has got you covered. Plus, let's have an agent you can actually talk to and enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, that's honestly, all kidding aside, that's a huge deal because you want to feel like you're able to communicate and share whatever you need to share, and not to be a hassle, right?
Right.
When you're like, oh, I gotta talk to this person, I gotta talk to that person. But Mike Fabert, he's gonna
talk to this person.
He'll be entertained. You won't even realize the clock is ticking.
You don't. You really don't. Believe me, we experienced that firsthand too every time we talk to him. It's great, man. But myfavoriteagent.com, the phone number for audio listeners too, 216-932-6900, 216-932-6900. Mike Fabert. Again, myfavoriteagent.com. You can get your quote online as well. If you're not a people person, you just kind of want to take a 10,000-foot view and just kind of work through things on the website. He's got a great, easy-to-navigate website for you as well. So
yeah, definitely check it out. His office here in Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, on the corner of Lee and Mayfield. Yep. Definitely check that out. There. And if you don't believe us, there he is. Wonder what he's going to do in March coming up.
We're excited for that.
For this next show.
Yeah, when in Rome 2. Exodus Pro. It's the second go around. There's going to be another Toga Battle Royal. We're excited about that. But
Toga.
Big opportunity with ExoPro too. Now, obviously, they're opening up kind of to more sponsors as well, trying to get more people involved. They obviously love kind of what we've done too with our model of the local community. They want to expand on that. So head over to exopro.com. They have the full list of what you can expect and the different kind of things that you can roll with them. We can tell you firsthand, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it
working
has
with
been.
these guys. It really has been great. If you want a good, solid product to kind of get behind, and a lot of these talent, these guys and girls over there, man, they're the future of this business. There's a lot of really talented people that are going to be making waves, and we're going to be talking about them when it comes to the big AEW, WWE, sphere. Maya World was just on AEW too. I think it was the other night. So I mean, she's making some waves and getting some notoriety and being kind of used in those spots. I mean, you're seeing that on a day in, day out basis. More of these stars that kind of start from this scene, the independent scene, making their waves all the way to the top. So get behind that. Exopro.com, a great opportunity.
Toga.
And Double A gets to wear a toga in March.
Toga,
What is it?
toga.
15th, I think it was, he said? Yeah. So there you go. Exciting for that.
All right, we got to make this a little bit quick. I know we teased the Superstar Day was up next. We might have to do that next week.
This is turning into the Austin Theory. Let's fix it. We're just going to keep kicking the can down the fucking road.
I know.
I think, you know what, after the Elimination Chamber is actually a great time to do that.
Yeah. I just don't want to. Just remind me not to. I forgot to get rid of that. This is the graphic. This is a sweet graphic. Remind me not to get rid of this graphic.
You don't get rid of that graphic. There,
Okay.
I reminded you. You're welcome.
Didn't we do this last week?
We did.
Okay. Didn't I tease that already?
You did.
I just forgot to say up next. Up next is right now.
Yes.
What if Milk Chocolate here says he's... Pause.
This is the hope that one day we get The Rock on the show and you call him Milk Chocolate. And I will remind you before we go live. Hey, Double A, remember when you called Dwayne Milk Chocolate? Anyway, we're here live with The Rock. Yeah.
Dwayne.
What in the Rudy Poo candy hell motherfuck did you call me? Oh my God. That'd be...
Watch Opus pick that up instead of what I'm about to say right now.
I'm going to live for this moment to happen, and I promise you I'm going to work so hard to get this man on this show. He makes so much time for so many things. If I can get 5 minutes of The Rock's time, just so you can call him Milk Chocolate.
By satellite.
Via satellite.
Via satellite.
Which we should probably just put that in the corner, like we have a graphic ready.
Okay, we're getting off the rails here. Man, I'm bumping the mic. Whew. Here we go. The Rock. The Monday after the Elimination Chamber. We are locked in. We pretty much know the card for WrestleMania. It's all set. Cody is facing 20 different other superstars in the main event of WrestleMania. And everything's set.
Not anymore, he's not.
The Rock comes back and says, I'm free for WrestleMania. And he's been talking to Mama Rhodes. Or whoever, whatever it is. What do? You got to put The Rock on the card. Got to have him in the main event. We talked about, I think, throughout the circles, throughout a lot of fans, it's clear at the current moment, the road to WrestleMania, not exactly as exciting as last year's road to WrestleMania at this point.
Uncertainty.
Still very early.
Uncertainty.
Still some uncertainty.
We're still in February.
But we can clearly acknowledge that The Rock's presence in last year's road to WrestleMania as the final boss
didn't hurt.
Completely enhanced that road.
Well, what ignited the Cody Rhodes, I should say reignited the Cody Rhodes want to be in that spot, and obviously led to what it did with night 1 and night 2. And I've come around to the fact now that The Rock, doesn't need to fight Cody at Mania if he decided to come back.
That would be my first question. Does he have to face Cody?
No, but he does need to fight Roman then. Plain and simple. And his story with Roman could be, I gave you your flowers. I gave you the Ulafala. You let me down twice again. Not only did you lose the championship last year to that bum Cody Rhodes, but then this year now, you lost the Royal Rumble. You got tossed out by CM Punk, who, by the way, I beat 10 years ago. And then you lost the Elimination Chamber or whatever his match is going to be if Roman gets in that spot to whoever, right? To not get to the next level, so to speak. You don't have a direction for WrestleMania. Guess what? You do now. Because I'm taking the Ulafala. I'm the rightful tribal. That's his avenue in. Or the final boss is the head of the tribal chief, whatever. Technically, Rock
well,
is
remember this too. At the Netflix debut, he gave the Uba Fuba to Roman.
The Fupafala.
The Fupafala to Roman. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew McIntyre. Thank you. He gave it to him as you know what? I know a lot of stuff has happened, but I'm giving you another shot. And he still failed at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns not in the main event. He still failed.
He technically doesn't even have to he doesn't have to do the Elimination Chamber. The Rumble's enough because that was his guaranteed ticket to fight Cody again. If it's true and that he's being kept off of TV because of, again, dates, whatever it is, and he's not going to be in the chamber.
Roman Reigns, yeah.
Yeah. Then you know what? That does make sense. You blew your chance.
Yep.
I literally gifted it to you.
Yeah.
I gave it to you. I became a high chief and I presented you with this. And you let me down. You let the family down.
Again.
Can't happen.
Yeah.
Won't happen. Maybe this ties Solo in. Obviously, he finally now it's all part of the plan, right? The Rock, it's like, okay, like he can have all these ducks in the row and it could be his avenue in. Bad news for Seth if that happens, but nevertheless.
They'll find a place for him. And the thing is, all of a sudden, The Rock can co-sign, perhaps, Jacob Fatu. That's another elevated place for him.
Could The Rock maybe be in Jacob's corner? Something like
now,
that?
I will, for the sake of argument here, give a case for Rock and Cody again, in the sense of perhaps there is unfinished business again.
Yeah.
Like, this go-around, The Rock wants what you took from the family.
Well, that's the story they told the night after, right?
But then, if you go with that, can The Rock eat a loss? The answer is yes.
Of course he can.
The answer is yes.
He's never going to be more over, and he's never not going to be as over. It's The Rock. He's always over. So that's not. It's kind of like Cena. He could lose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no big deal. It's still John Cena. It's to an extent now. Punk is getting to the point where it'd be nice if he won a championship. It'd be nice if he made it better. He doesn't have to. I mean, he's Punk. He's over. He is what he is. He's a little not on that level yet, so to speak. But we're not going to be like, oh, fuck Punk. He needs the win. Like,
well, part of the story I think they're going to sink their teeth into, even with Punk, is, well, and Punk kind of said it in his promo on Monday, Cena basically gets an automatic spot in the chamber,
earn it,
and I have to earn it.
Yeah.
You got to get a little bit of that. Look, here's the thing. If your card is made up already, let's say, I'm assuming Triple H knows right now.
Oh, they knew a while ago.
They know what the card is, but they have two versions of the card. They still, right now, today, there are still two versions of this card.
I don't even buy that. I feel like you know your schedule. Like, unless something comes up that makes it more busy, these guys plan this shit out. Like, and this is not even WWE. This is like guys like The Rock, movie stars. They know John Cena. I know for 3 weeks in February, I'm filming shit in Hungary. I know I'm not going to be there.
TKO.
Like, and he knew that shit 2 years ago when he accepted the role and the script. Like,
there are still things that have to be addressed. We still need to know what this means.
It's very long term, man.
We still need to know the whole 20 steps ahead thing.
But remember, too, now Dave Meltzer did say that he wasn't going to be there. So that automatically tells you that The Rock probably will show up at WrestleMania. What will his role be? Who the fuck knows?
Okay.
Now
we will do this
after Elimination Chamber.
After the Chamber.
I think that's the best bet because then we're really going to have an idea, I think.
Let me share one thing. Put Braun Breaker on television. Yeah, have him compete in some matches. Put him against some jobber. He had the hottest moment at the Royal Rumble.
The most viewed moment
in Rumble history. The most viewed moment ever.
Yeah.
In the Royal Rumble. And he's been kept off television except for, like, face-offs. No. Find some scrub in your local town, wherever you are, and have Braun Breaker destroy him.
Braun Breaker, the ultimate tease of WWE. Man. Him and Jacob Fatu. They always get in the ring with somebody or they look at somebody, but are we ever actually going to get the match?
That's right. That was Rocket Stone.
Fuck.
For a long time.
For a minute.
BA Sweeties, of course, definitely check them out. Get your dark chocolate. We can't promise that Coach Prime will be there, but a lot of you have.
He's going to start a chocolate brand now. Watch. I'm telling you, he's gonna roll with it.
He's gonna do.
He's a smart man. He's a smart businessman too. He'll roll with that shit.
Mike from State Farm. He's gonna take care. He's smart guy, very busy guy, very caring guy for you. He's gonna help you out, of course. And again, Megan Gallagher, Omega Video Marketing. Professional or personal digital content creator. She will take care, full business. Again, Megan RG 440 @gmail.com is how you can reach her. Our social media platforms, we are posting, by the way, full episodes on our Facebook as well. Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast with Double A and Kyle. A Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast with AA and Kyle on Facebook.
With Arn Anderson and Kyle. There was someone I think that came out during Exodus show that was their nickname was
She
Double
was
A.
the opener.
Yeah, Double A.
Yeah, she was the.
I was like, oh, why is Double A in the ring? I was like sick on my couch. Like, what the fuck? Is he wrestling?
Literally, her name. It was her name, and then underneath Double A. Like, okay,
son of a bitch.
You gotta take care of that. YouTube, of course.
A trademark issue.
TikTok, Instagram @Side Hustle Pod 216 on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Voice of the Land, they'll have everything covered about why the Cleveland Browns fans are scared to pick a quarterback and other various sports topics. And we'll have all that covered. Of course, CVC, Chagrin Valley Conference. We got some postseason basketball games coming up as well. But for us, we are done. One more time. Coach Brian, where is he again? Look at this photo. One more time. We do so much
It's like Buck Rogers going through time right now.
Look at that.
Hey, you know what I didn't need to end the show? Another one of those laughs.
Yeah.
You sound like the Dark Chocolate Wizard of Oz.